Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel once again, and today it's part 2 of Happy Landings. Now I'm going to attempt to land the Origin 315P and the Origin 350R. Now if you've seen my previous video on Happy Landings where I attempted to land the other ships in Star Citizen's Arena Commander, you'll know that I had varying degrees of success and failure, and as the landing systems haven't really had a lot of work done on them at the moment, you're going to see some bugs, glitches and some strange things probably occur, but it's certainly fun to attempt to land, and I certainly urge you to try yourselves and see how you get on. Anyway, here we are in the Origin 315P, looking very nice, and we're in Dying Star this time. We've got a landing pad on that map as well if you try it in free flight, and I must admit that Dying Star is my favourite map just because of the fantastic and beautiful lighting effects. Anyway, the 315P is almost in position for landing, so let's see if we can get the gear to come down. Now everything is done automatically on a proximity basis at the moment, but obviously eventually you will be able to land yourselves, and because if you take off you've got to be able to land in Star Citizen, but that will come eventually. Anyway, the gear's coming down nicely now, and we seem to be okay, and we've got touchdown. Let's see if I can actually get out of my seat and get out of my 315P. Now there was a horrible bug with the 300i in the previous video where you fell through the floor there, but keep your fingers crossed, we're okay, and we're ready to disembark. Well, there's a few little glitches with the third person camera there, but hopefully the doors go open, and it's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. Now you can tell I'm of an age where I actually watched the Apollo 11 landings as a small child, and it's one of my most vivid memories, and all I would say is, why haven't we gone further? Perhaps one day we will. Anyway, let's get back on board and attempt to take off in the 315P. Let's get back into the pilot seat. Now, I did exhibit a few bugs with taking off in my last video, where most of the ships actually ended up going into reverse. Let's hope we don't get that bug this time, and unfortunately we have, and I'm afraid I've met a reversing death. Anyway, I'm not going to let that defeat me. I'm going to try again, and I've landed safely, and hopefully I can get into space this time. What I'm going to do, I'm going to actually press the upward thrust button vigorously on my joystick, and hopefully that will counter the effects of going into reverse. So anyway, let's get ready. Get that upward thrust button ready. Any moment now. And yes, we have liftoff. But unfortunately, we've had a door failure. And it's a good job I've got my helmet on. Otherwise I would be gasping for air in the vacuum of space. Anyway, we seem to be flying okay. We've got the ladder deployed. Very handy for a quick exit. And the door's wide open. Obviously, a slight glitch there. So will I be able to go back to the landing pad and land again with the ladder deployed? I'm going to give it a try. So let's see if I can get down. Hopefully the landing gear will deploy. The ladder doesn't seem to be interfering with my flight characteristics. Down we go. Any moment now. Touchdown successfully. So we can certainly land with the ladder deployed. Now let's get back in and actually go back into the ship through the opposite door and see if we can take off again. Hopefully that will actually close. No doubt I'll go into reverse again, so I'll try and keep my finger on the upward thrust button on my joystick. Yes, I went into reverse, but luckily damage was minimal. But unfortunately the other door is now open as well, so we've got a double ladder deployment. Oh well, at least the 315p has taken off and landed successfully. In fact, I'm going to try something else now, because on Dying Star there's this large structure with a very inviting hole in it. And I've tried this before, so I'm going to try it again and descend down into the structure and see if I can actually land on that middle centre hole there. Now it's a strange lighting in here. I don't know what's going on in this structure, but my landing gear is deployed. Ladders are of course down, and I'm pretty much landed safely. So that's a successful landing. Obviously you can't get out of your ship here, you can only do that on the landing pad, but I've landed safely. So let's get out of this large structure and take a look next at the Origin 350R and see if it can match up to the 315P's landing abilities. Now the 350R is my favourite Origin ship. If I were to buy an Origin ship in what remains of the anniversary sale, it would be this one if I had the funds. But probably I'm going to buy something before the sale ends, but it's going to be another ship which I'm sort of like deciding on at the moment what one it's going to be. There's so many to choose from. Anyway, we're coming down on the landing pad now. Gear has deployed nicely from the 350R, and we need to lower the nose gear there, and I think we've got touchdown. Oh, we've got the rear gear in the air. Oops, and that must have been a little bug there, because I sort of died instantly without crashing into the pad. Anyway, I'm back again for another attempt, and as you can see here, there's the actual remains of my last attempt there, which is now desynced. So let's see if I'm a bit more successful this time. Now this is actually, I believe, my third attempt at this, because I did foul on 2 other occasions with the same little glitchy bug. But my gear's down safely now, and I have touchdown with the 350R. Let's see if I can disembark safely. This is the trouble. You never know what little glitches or bugs are going to occur, because, you know, it's very much work in progress, and there's been no need to really concentrate on bug smashing anything within the landing process at the moment. Anyway, let's disembark. And step down onto the landing pad, and we're down safely. And everything seems intact on the 350R. Certainly is a beautiful ship, and with those two big engines at the back, as I said previously, if I was to buy an Origin ship, it would be this one. Right, let's get back into the ship now and see if we can take off. Well, I'm going to get back on board now and get my finger positioned tightly on my upward thrust button on my joystick, because no doubt I'm going to go into reverse. And let's get all systems ready for takeoff, get back into the seat, and keep your fingers crossed. I'm not very confident, to be honest. And unfortunately, my fears did come to fruition there. And in fact, I tried another 3 or 4 times without success, so I had to call it a day. And you can see the remains of my last attempt on the landing pad before it desinks. So the 315P has actually exhibited its superiority in landing over the 350R. But of course the Origin 350R, well, it hasn't got in landing, it's got in absolute raw speed. Anyway, now it's time for some more Star Citizen Universe news. Well, it's always nice to have some happy landings. Now this week there's been a fair amount of news as the anniversary ship sale continues, and I'm yet to actually buy any ships, but will that continue in the last few hours of the sale? I'm not so sure, because the other day we've had the Carrack unveiled. Now the Carrack is a concept ship, and we'll talk about that a little later on. But first, the 62, 63 and $64 million mark has now been surpassed. Now, earlier in the week, Chris Roberts, in his latest letter from the chairman, spoke about reaching that mark. That's now unlocked the Genesis class Starliner, and on reaching the 63 million mark, it's unlocked the Miss Reliant, which is going to be a new starter ship. Now, with the Miss Reliant being so popular, Chris Roberts has already promised that there will be more alien technology into the game, because a lot of people are sort of like looking forward to actually some differently designed ships featuring more alien tech. So Chris has promised that, and I think there's a lot more to come on that front. The $64 million mark has probably already been passed by the time you've seen this video, and that stretch goal is something different. It's not ships, it's pets. We've already got fish in our fish tank, but Chris Roberts has said that they will implement a pet system, so you could have your cat or dog in space, or anything, pet reptiles, snakes, or maybe some strange alien creatures, or maybe just a robot dog, and that would probably be a lot easier. No mess there. Now, in this week's Around the Verse, hosted as always by Sandy Gardner and Ben Lesnick, now there's a lot of really interesting topics. Now, one of the news items Ben spoke about was the Avenger. They're testing the damage states and getting it ready to be flown in Arena Commander 1.0. Now, the damage states really sound great to me because, as you know, I like to see the ships get totally blown away. Now, of course, on the topic of Around the Verse, that leads me on to the Carrack. Now, the Carrack is the new concept ship with LTI being offered for sale for the next week. Now, the Carrack is an exploration ship, and in Around the Verse, there's an interesting segment with the concept artist Carrack and Omar. Now, the ship was originally started by Dave Hobbins, who's left CIG now for a galaxy far, far away. But Omar and Carrack have really done a great job on the concept of the ship, and if you watch the segment with them talking about the ship, well, you're going to be tempted to buy it because it's really interesting, especially the part where it's got the glass cockpit for maximum view, and it's got this shutter system which comes down when the ship is travelling through an asteroid field or under attack. Now, other interesting things about the Carrack is, of course, its length, 123 meters, which is obviously longer than a Constellation, and also it's a 5-person crew, and it's actually on a double-decker 2-deck cruise ship, so obviously they can maximize the space there with all dedicated exploration equipment with a scanning table and obviously other sophisticated items as well. Now, it's going to be a modular design, so I think obviously this modular system will come to the other ships, because at the moment, if you say look in the Constellation Aguila, which is another exploration ship, it's not really fully kitted out for that, so a lot of this equipment will get into a lot of the ships going forward. Now, obviously the Carrack is more of a dedicated exploration ship. It's got 0 cargo room because everything is dedicated to exploration. Obviously you could probably get rid of some of that exploration equipment, but what's the point? Because well, if you want a cargo hauler, go and get a Constellation Taurus. Now, the Carrack comes with a rover, and it also comes with a little reconnaissance ship which actually takes off from the top landing pad. So that's really interesting. It also comes equipped with some drones, you know, for obviously scientific exploration, and it's on the outside. The interesting features are these arms which stick out. Now, these are evidently for charting jump points, so obviously some sophisticated equipment there. Now, the Carrack has got 4 hard points. Now, 2 of them are manned, which are sort of like on the sides of the ships, and you've got 2 unmanned turrets on the bottom and the top. Obviously all specs are subject to change. Obviously the Carrack is a concept ship, so it won't appear in the game for quite a while yet, but it does come with LTI, and if you're into exploration, and especially if you've got a good group of friends, if you don't trust the NPCs to fly with you, then it could be the ship for you. And if I didn't already have the Constellation Aguila as part of the Constellation pack I bought earlier, well, maybe I'd be tempted. But there's a lot more ships out there, and of course you don't have to buy these ships. You're only pledging to help fund the game. You can always earn these ships in game in the persistent universe when we get there. Well, the Carrack is certainly an interesting ship. Well, I should wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you had a great time in America, and everywhere else in the world, I hope you had a great weekend, and happy landings to you all. So please don't forget to like, and it would really mean a lot to me if you could subscribe. So wherever you're watching out in that big universe, you take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.